Morning. Oh my god. Thursday. Oh, November 13th. Oh my god. I'm Melissa. My fat bitch diary. Oh, time has come. Time has come to drink from skulls. Oh, he's out there. The dingus. The dingus kerplingus. He is. I hear him tap, tap, tapping. His little feet. His little dog feet. Little dog footy foots. Tap, tap, tapping on the floor. Oh, it's raining so hard. It's like pouring out there. Oh my god. I woke up just before the rain started. Like, I heard it start. It was amazing. Because that's like the pressure shift. And it's pain for me. It's physically painful, and the pain. It was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable. I woke up, and it was like silent, and then all of a sudden it started to pour. It was kind of cool to hear it. Yeah. And I thought I saw some lightning. I thought I saw a flash, but I didn't hear any thunder. So I don't know. Maybe I didn't see anything. I had a wild dream last night. I did. I had a really wild dream that there were like people in my house. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling them, get out. I had, so in the dream, it was like in the morning and I was still in bed in the dream and I was in this room. I was in this house. And I wake up because there's like all this ruckus outside. And Omar's up and he's like, or all around and stuff. He's doing stuff. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, my buddies are here. They were going to be here. He said, they told me they were going to be here in the afternoon, but they got here early. And I'm just like, there's people here. And I'm like in my underwear, or my pajamas, underwear. Like, and I'm trying to get into the bathroom so I can get showered and dressed. And like, I'm trying to hurry because there's like all these people here. It's like these three guys on bikes, on motorcycles, and like their wives, and there's like a bazillion kids everywhere, and there's like more people showing up every minute, and they're like all over the property and everything, and then they're coming in the house, and I hear them downstairs, and I'm trying to get in the shower, and I try to get in the bathroom, and there's some guy taking a big dump in my bathroom. And I'm like, this is my bathroom. There's a bathroom downstairs. You need to be using that one. I said, this is my bedroom up here. I said, get the hell out of here. It's so weird. The people in the house. I have a dream kind of like that. I've had a dream kind of like that a number of times here, where there's people where I'm in this house, and there's people coming in the house, and I'm telling them to get out. I've had that dream before. Different people though. It always starts out with three people though. Always. Yeah. Oh my god. This house is the longest I've lived anywhere in my entire life. My entire life. This house. I have lived in this house longer than I've lived anywhere in my life. It's wild. Been in this house 7 years. I've never lived anywhere longer than, other than this house, I've never lived anywhere longer than 5 years. Like every 5 years, yeah. Oh my god. I hate moving. I hate it. I've done it so much. Done it so many times. Ever since I was little. How old was I when we moved? We moved away from Pitcairn. We moved from Pitcairn out to, how old was I? It's like 4 or 5 when we moved. 4. We moved from Pitcairn out to Wyomissing Hills, and we lived in that townhouse for like a year, 2 years, and then we moved to Wisteria, and I was in 4th grade when we moved away from there. It was at the summer after 4th grade, and we moved to Pottstown, and then I was in 7th grade, so 5, 6, and I was in 7th grade when we moved from Pottstown to Michigan, to Thornridge, and then I was in what was that? I was in I was it's my senior year of high school. We moved over to Christian Hills, and then I lived in that house for 4 years, and then Omar and I got married, and we lived in that apartment for not even a year, and then we moved to California. We lived on Buena Vista for 2 years, and then we moved over to Villa del Sol, that other apartment. We were there for like 2 years, or a year, 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And then we moved to Bellflower for a year and a half. And then from there, we moved up to Santa Rosa. We rented that house for a year. And then we bought our house up there. We bought a house on Hammond. We lived there for 4 years. We owned that house for like 4 years. 4 years. And then we moved to Oakland, rented a house for like 6 months. And then we moved into the cotton mill. There's lofts. We lived there for 3 years. And we moved to Alcatraz, and we were there for a year and a half, something like that. And then after that, we moved here. And we've been here for 7 years now. All the times I moved. I'm tired of moving. But I sometimes wonder if we're going to be able to stay in this house, because I have trouble getting up and down the stairs sometimes. Oh. And as I get older, it's only going to get worse. When I was walking with the cane every day, I mean, the whole reason Omar brings me tea is because of the pain. And I don't like walking up and down our stairs until I can take the edge off the pain, because I'm real stiff, and it's like we have 2 big windows that are on the staircase, and I worry about falling out those windows, right? Falling down the stairs and going out those windows. That's really what I worry about. If my legs don't work or whatever. Yeah. So yesterday we just had leftovers for dinner. I'm going to make dinner tonight. I'm going to make pilaf and kebabs. Pilaf, kebabs, and salad tonight. And then, I'm going to go over to the gallery to do some work. Probably. Did a little bit of work yesterday. I got 2 more chapters written yesterday. I don't know. I think I'm going to be able to wrap this one up. I think this one's going to be an extra short one in comparison, like, to all of them. I mean, they're all novellas, right? I think the longest one I have is a little over 300 pages. The longest novel I've written is a little over 300 pages. I don't know which one that is. But this one, I'm at about 200 pages now. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm going to be able to wrap it up in like 2 more chapters. Oh, it was funny last night. I read the chapters to Omar, and he got up. He's like, ugh. I said, oh, you hate this book. He's like, I don't like them. I don't like this character. And I'm like, I know, I don't like her either. And he's like, what? The main character doesn't like her. She has some big character flaws. And I'm like, wow. He's like, well, what's there to like about her? I said, well, why don't you like her? Right? Because she does, she crochets slippers for the nursing home, and she doesn't do anything wrong, and she's kind of boring, right? She's kind of she doesn't have a TV, and I'm not into into society, right? Like she has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder and superiority complex, which makes her a little bit unlikable. But but that's not what makes her like. For me, it's like, okay, well, that's annoying stuff. But for me, she's, well, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away because I'm not done writing the novel yet. Why I don't like her, but there's a big reason. And when I told him why I didn't like her, he's like, yeah, that's what it is. I'm like, yeah, that's why you don't like her. So, um, yeah, yeah, the main character, Omar, doesn't like her. And I knew I didn't like her from the beginning, right? And after the first two chapters, I asked him, I'm like, oh, because I usually do when I'm writing, I'll ask him, okay, who's your favorite and least favorite character, right? And there's at the beginning, it's like there's one character where it's just like, oh, bitch, you know? Yeah, but it's not the main character, right? And the character that at first you're like, oh, I really don't like her, she becomes more sympathetic. So, yeah, yeah, it's an interesting journey. Yeah, and there's things that have happened in the book that I'm just like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh my God, what a surprise. Yeah. Anyway, anyway, you know, and so I was also doing a materials test yesterday, and that was the other conversation I had with Omar. And and so I had this materials test. I have a mold, right? Like, and I'm trying to find the shrinkage rate, and anyway, for the like how much slip do I need to use, and blah 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 blah. And the initial test, right? Like I ended up breaking up and putting back into the slip, right? And it was totally dry, but it was like so thin. It shrunk. The porcelain shrunk like over 50% when it dried inside in the mold, and so I need to have a nice thick coating um, in the mold. And anyway, I did something different. I have another test going on, but anyway, so I took the piece out of the mold, and there was a little bit of flashing. And when I went to when I went to knock off the flash, and I was super gentle, it cracked the piece. And anyway, I was telling Omar about this. He's like, "Oh, I guess that was a real learning experience." I'm like, "Duh." I said, "That's why I do media studies for all of my work." Senor Perro, hey, did Daddy let you in? Is Daddy in the bathroom? Is Daddy getting in the shower? Did you go outside? Are you wet? Did you eat cat shit yesterday? Yeah, you did. He ate cat shit yesterday and gave cat shit kisses. The only thing we don't know is did he eat the cat shit in the morning or in the afternoon when we came home? That's the question. Because if he ate it in the morning, he gave a stranger cat shit kisses. And I suspect he ate it in the morning because he doesn't usually give people kisses that he doesn't know. Actually, I have never seen him give anyone kisses other than Omar and I. And yesterday he gave someone a kiss. He did. And he was like all into it. And I was like, that's really interesting. Why is it he really likes him? He's giving him kisses. And I was, but that would explain why if he had eaten cat shit, because he would have been like, I'm giving you cat shit kisses, because he's like that. So that's what I think. I think he ate the cat shit in the morning yesterday and then was giving out cat shit kisses all day. And that was his little joke because that's the way he is. He is, Brody. That's why he's got all these names. The Dingus Kaplingus, the Stinkopotamus. He's got all these names, and that's why. Mr. Brodolingus, Mr. Poopy Pants. He's got all kinds of names. Oh, yeah. So I have to decide whether I gotta tell. My dog was giving you cat shit kisses yesterday. I have to apologize. Sorry, my dog gave you cat shit kisses. Oh my God. Yeah, anyway, so I was talking about the media studies. So I do media studies for all of my work. And I have an enormous body of art work that I've done over the years in my life. And I mean, an enormous body of artwork. Enormous. And if you don't know me and if you've never encountered my work before, you see my work and you're like, oh, wow, you just made that, right? Like, whenever I've finished something, it's like, oh, you just made that. And that's not the case. Nothing I make is just made, right? Like, there's a lot of study that goes into making any individual piece, and tests, materials tests, and composition studies, and all kinds of stuff. Because my process is very academic and structured. My creative process. I'm not one of these people, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with. I'm just saying that my process is different than what most people's process is when they think about making art, and they go, oh, I'm gonna go take a workshop. I'm gonna go hang out with people and just mess around with some material. No. Mm-mm. No, like my work is not restful in process. Um, some of my work involves meditation as part of the process, but none of the process is inherently relaxing or therapeutic, or it's a very stressful, vigorous process, and it's not fun in the sense of play, like going to the boardwalk or going to the beach and run around, play, it's not, my work's not like that. My work, why do you do it if it's not fun? Like, I do it because I derive a great sense of satisfaction in the end product, in arriving at that, like going through the process of the work and the research and the study to arrive at the informed, finished work. And that's not the same thing as how I think the majority of society views or approaches art, right? No, it's not. So, I learned a lot of different processes and techniques in college, but the most important thing that I studied and learned how to do in school was to cultivate an informed, purposeful process and critical analysis of the work. You okay?
Yep.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
It is really raining. I'm going to stand out there and stare at the retaining wall. This is the first, because this is like the first big rain that we've had since the retaining wall went in. Isn't it?
I think so.
I'll take pictures. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. He's all bent. I'm talking about my process. I don't even know. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna have to lay back down though. I'm gonna have to lay back down before I do anything because I hurt. Oh, this is the other thing I was yapping my trap at him about last night. It's been on my mind. Like, the conundrum of the differently abled of differently abled bodies. And my experience of that, I have had my entire life. There's been something, right, that's been physical challenge or barrier for me. I shouldn't say all of my life, most of my life, but it's not always been, or isn't always, or usually isn't readily visible to others, right? And people doubt you, right, when you're saying you're having trouble with something. On one hand, it's, they'll tell you, oh, I want to, how can I help you? How can I help you? And it's just like, well, the help that you need is not the help they want to give, kind of thing. Or, no, you can't help me with what I'm, and some, just living with chronic pain. And now that I'm fat, yeah, it's more difficult for me. The pain and the challenge is more difficult. It was easier when I was thin, and it was part of why when I was thin and more mobile, that I worked very, very hard at maintaining that level of mobility with yoga and everything. And people were very disdainful of that, particularly after I lost weight the first time, right? Um, Women in my family were kind of shitty to me when I lost weight, and I lost a number of friends when I lost weight. Um, and then people who didn't know me, who only knew me when I was thin, didn't know me what before that, when I was heavy. They like didn't believe me or whatever, and were shitty. People are really weird about weight and stuff. And so anyway, and I just remember ever since the car accidents, I've lived with with severe chronic pain. Um, and when I was thinner and we were living in that building on the fourth floor, I used to take the stairs unless I had bags and things to carry, and then I'd take the elevator. But if I didn't, if it was just me and my purse or whatever, I took the stairs. And there were a couple chunky girls and the property manager used to make shitty comments to me. I remember one day she said, "Oh, you got to take the stairs so you can keep your figure." Like that's what she said to me. And I remember I stopped and I turned and I was just like, and I said, "Marcia, I live with pain." I said, "In one day, I'm not going to be able to climb stairs." I said, "So every day I take the stairs and have gratitude for still being able to climb them on my own two legs." And she was like, oh. So she said to me. And when I would get to the top of the stairs, top of the fourth floor, I would have severe pain. But it was like a little victory for me that I was able to do it. And the things that my self-talk, it's like when I get to that point of discomfort, because then I'd have to lay down until the pain passed. And I remember when I broke my tail, when Craig Ennis, when that yoga teacher broke my tailbone. Oh my God, the pain was so bad. And when I'd come home, I couldn't stand for long periods of time when I broke my tailbone. And I couldn't sit on it, so I had to lay flat. That was awful. It was awful. I spent hours staring at the ceiling in that room. But I guess I don't look disabled enough. I don't look disabled enough for people to have any kind of sympathy, right? Um, And I try very hard. I mean, this is my diary. I can talk about this shit because this is my diary. This kind of shit a person talks about in their diary. Some days I hurt really bad, and people are like, "Oh, well, are you mad? Are you?" It's like, no, I'm in pain. I hurt, and I try really hard, to not complain. I don't want to be telling everybody I meet, I'm in pain right now, right? I don't. I don't know. I don't know what people want or what people from me. So when I'm feeling like that, it's best for me to just be by myself. I spend a lot of time by myself. You know. Anyway. Anyway. Living with pain. Living with a body that doesn't always function the way I want it to function. And knowing that one day I'm going to consistently need assistance going to the bathroom. You know? Knowing one day my legs are going to not carry me. Waiting for that day. Not waiting for that day and like, ooh, I can't wait. But knowing that that day is potentially on the horizon. And not being freaked out, Just trying to be grateful. It's part of what makes me really resentful, though, if I dwell on the attacks, the physical attacks that I've endured, because it's just like, okay, I already had this issue, this chronic issue, and then somebody was a dick and did this to me, made it worse. You know? Yeah. Even in my family. I've talked about that before too. Like, so my sister was a cheerleader in high school, and the cheerleaders dropped her, and she broke her back and had back issues. Well, there were all kinds of allowances made for her, and when she was in pain and having back spasms and blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh well, she's got that back injury. I almost died, was hit head on at over 65 miles an hour twice, and have a back injury, but I was never allotted the same kind of sympathetic allowance in our home, in our family. Oh, you're fine, right? That was always the way it was. But my sister, she had a serious injury. Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know. I try not to complain, but I hurt, and it's raining right now, and I'm glad for the rain because the reservoir is pretty damn low. Anyway, pilaf and kebabs for dinner tonight. Yum.